watch it back later. Cool. So, all right, Ellen, it was great to get to meet you. Great to hear about how you might be a good fit for our company. Are you ready for the case interview?
Yes, last game. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for your time.
No, absolutely. So here we go. So our client is Robot and Company. So Robot Co. is a company headquartered in California, USA, and Shenzhen, China, the two important world capitals for hardware innovation. In early 2020, catering had undergone significant change, especially with the breakout of COVID-19. Robot Co. is catching up to the market trend with the rollout of Gundam 2, a robot specifically designed to deliver dishes and drinks from kitchen to the dining area. The robot executes the orders in the system instantly and will be disinfected itself at the end of each mission. Duration to disinfect lasts 5 seconds each time. The CEO of Robot Co. has tasked us with figuring out whether to launch Gundam 2 in Singapore and how to price this new product.
So, just recap to make sure I almost got everything. Just recap to make sure I got it right. So our client is Robot Co. and the headquarters is at California and Shenzhen. And they are doing a machine that can deliver food in restaurant, right? So their main product is a food delivery robot,
Yes, it looks
and that in the catering industry. Um, and now they're considering to launch Gundam 2, a new machine, to launch in the Singapore. So the question is, should we launch Gundam 2 in Singapore or not? And what if yes, what would be the price?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Great. So just to make sure that I understand correctly, so Gundam 2 is it the only product that we have at this moment? So for the product portfolio, so do we have Gundam 1 or
It,
other lines of the product?
it looks like this is the only product we're looking to launch in Singapore. So the only one.
Do we have any other products to sell at this moment, or only
Uh,
Gundam?
no, we're focusing primarily on Gundam 2. We're not considering other products.
I see. And so our client, so about our client, we only sell to the to restaurant. Do we sell to other do we have other clients?
Yes, so a side note is that instead of selling to restaurants, Roboco is planning to lease Gundam to the restaurants for a monthly rental payment. So we're not selling, but we're selling to restaurant. We're leasing to restaurants. That is the plan for our um that is the plan to
I
lease
see.
restaurants.
Um, do you have more information about the leasing business module, how we operate that? So
We'll go into
is
that. The leasing
great.
model, we'll go into that.
Right. Singapore is not the first city, right? We already launched that in California and Shenzhen.
Yeah, so our R&D center is located in California and Shenzhen. But our sales network is spread widely over North America, North Asia, and Southeast Asia.
I see. Mm, do we have any specific goal in mind?
No, just whether we should launch in Singapore and how we would price this product.
So what, Mark? Um, okay. Um, so you have any idea about the revenue so far? So for our
Um,
clients' annual revenue, so what you have any data on that?
no, no information on our client's revenue, but in regards to launching in Singapore, revenue would not necessarily be relevant.
Great. I think I got everything. So can I take a moment to structure my thoughts?
Absolutely.
So great. Yeah. So to understand whether we should enter into Singapore or not, and what would, if yes, what would be the price? I would love to analyze this question into 4 area. So first, I would love to understand the overall market. So is this a attract market in Singapore for us to get enter? And second, I want to understand the competition landscape. And then I want to understand our robot co our own capability. And then I would like to dig deep into the service product itself. You mentioned this is a leasing service. So within the market, so first I would like to understand the market at the first place. So is it attractive market? So how many restaurants out there they have the they would love to try our product, and and what would be the potential size for the whole market, and so our is, and we already have experience in North America and Southeast Asia. And so is there any similarity between the customer behaviors, or do we need to twist our service or product to Singapore preferences? So that would be the first thing that I would like to understand. So in the market, and then I want to understand our competition landscapes. So first, I would like to know, is there any other peer company that also sell robots in Singapore, or are we the only one? And then I need to understand the annual salary. So if yes, I would like to know what's their pricing strategy, what's their market, and if not, if we were the first one that launched the machine, then I would like to understand the labor market in the catering industry. So how the waiter waitress charge per hour and charge annually, then that will be a good benchmark for us when we're charging the leasing fee. And then in the third category, I need to understand our own capabilities. So our headquarters in CA and Shenzhen, do we have the ability to launch to launch Gundam 2 in Singapore? It's that include the marketing efforts, and also do we have enough people? This is a machine, so we need to arrange people on site to do the maintenance work. So do we have the capability to do that? Or if yes, how long to initiate the team? If not, what would be the good way to start? Should we launch a joint venture things, or maybe not? And then finally, I like to understand the product or the service itself more. So, and what will be the operation risk? So for example, so regarding the product or service itself, based on our understanding of our Singapore customers, do we need to design more add-on services, like more than just deliver food, or maybe just combine the deliver food and manual services together that depend on our customers' preferences and their needs? Then if so, that we could charge more. And also, so for the service, we also need to understand what would be the cost, except for the basic marketing maintenance will be the other thing, because Singapore has very special weather. So is there anything we need to concern about that? And then finally, it's about the operational risk. So it's Singapore is we need to learn more about the Singapore consumption behavior. Are they quite open to such machine things, or are they very preservative, so they think machine that kind of replace human, they might scare of that idea? So that kind of the operation risk that we need to take in mind. And also we need to take in mind about the regulation risk. Probably we better learn about the government regulation, like whether or not should replace human by machine before. So that would be the four main pillar that I want to look into. So yeah, if you agree, so I think we can start with understand the overall market for the first step.
Absolutely. So I think that's a great place to start, and we'll definitely get to that. First, however, I'd like to ask you a question and include an exhibit for you to look at. So in order for our products, our product offering to Singapore, the Gundam 2's loading capacity is adjustable, and its maximum loadable volume is 20 by 21 by 35 inch, and we'll show that in a minute. The Super Drink is the #1 popular drink in the restaurants of Singapore. The Super Drink has an outer packaging size of 5 by 7 by 4 inch, and I'll show that as well. With the full capacity of the Gundam 2, what is the maximum number of Super Drink that can be transported at one time? Let me pull up the exhibit. No need to write down the numbers. I'll pull up the... Great. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. So Yeah, I can tell the dimension of Gundam 2 is like a box, right? And the so could you help me understand what is Super Drink?
Right. It's a very popular, #1 popular drink in the restaurants of Singapore. So it would be what the Gundam 2 would deliver to its tables, to its diners. So yes.
Oh, great. Um, yeah, so from this exhibit, I can then we can so let's see how many drinks that Gundam 2 could hold at one time.
Mhm.
So for it's around 5 multiple 4. So that's around 20 drinks that we can carry at one time.
Well, by volume, right? So it needs to be stacking as well.
Yeah, stacking together so we can stack 20 super drinks at one time.
Well, you might want to look at that calculation again, because there are the number of super drinks that Gundam 2 can hold, right? So it would be, yeah, the volume of a cube, right? So how would you calculate the volume of
Oh, sorry. So we could on the if we stack them together, so on the first level we could stack 20 drinks as the as one level, then we could stack 5 level, and that would be 100 drinks.
Okay, could you get an exact number for us, for the client? So we have the dimensions of the Gundam 2 at full capacity, and then we also have the dimensions of a super drink, right? So how many super drinks could fit in a Gundam 2 at full capacity? So could you walk me through your approach, Ellen?
Yeah, I think we could hold 100 drinks in full capacity in Gundam 2.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, that's about right. So yeah, thank you. So we'll continue forward. After a successful pilot project in Singapore, Robot Company is planning to rent out Gundam to the restaurants through its monthly rental payments. So how should they price the services of Gundam 2? What factors should be considered? What do you recommend us to consider?
So your question, so our client's question is what factors to consider
Mhm.
when we price the Gundam 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, first of all, we need to consider, is there any other robot that's available on the market? So if so, how they charge our clients? And that's
Uh,
one thing. So that's our peer. And then we need to consider the annual salary or monthly salary for the waiter and or waitress. So that would be a great benchmark for us. So and we need to, so if the same job that will be conducted by human, we need to pay them a paycheck, and we need to give them a sick leave, healthcare, etc. But well, if we pay to Gundam 2, and we only need to do the leasing fee and the maintenance fee, so that would be a great benchmark for us to consider. So our charge at least need to be lower than the human service. And then that also depend on what the factors to consider. We also need to consider our own Gundam 2 capability, like how many like just mentioned, how many drinks that can carry at one time, how many food can be carried, can he work in a 24/7 loads, and also what is there any add-on services that we could enhance Gundam capability, like for example, can Gundam take order, or can Gundam take not only just deliver food but also take back the dish after the customers finish their food. So that depends on our own capability. So, and also I think we want to consider our customer our customer preferences. So do they open to the robots, or do they need still some time to cultivate that consuming a behavior to accept that robot? So that will be the four main things we need to consider before we pricing our products.
Absolutely. Yeah, so those are great considerations. So I have some information about how our client is looking to how we're looking to approach pricing our product. So on the cost side, our manufacturing costs of a single Gundam 2 is 9,000 Singaporean dollars. And the useful lifespan of our robot is 5 years. And the maintenance cost is 100 Singaporean dollars. So that is the cost side. So could you calculate the cost per month basis?
So the maintenance is $100 per month, right?
It's yeah. Yes. Yes, $100 per month.
So yeah, $100 per month. So we have the cost at $9,000 and lifespan 5 years, and we need to spend $12,000 on maintenance per year. And so the lifespan is
12,000, just quickly, 12,000.
1,200 to do the maintenance per year, and we need to do the maintenance for 5 years, so which is $6,000. So which means in 5 years the total cost would be 15,000. So we need to charge at least 3,000 per year.
Oh, and that would be, what about per month?
So for per month, that would be 20 200 200.
Right. So we have the $9,000 of initial manufacturing cost, and it's a useful lifespan of 5 years. And so we're looking to use those numbers to calculate per month basis. Right. So
Yeah,
$9,000.
so yeah, we want to charge $3,000 per year, so which is $250 per month.
Absolutely. Yes. So that would be the cost side. And so given the other information that you had brainstormed, what other information would you be interested in? Now having the cost side, what would you like to look at next?
So yeah, do we have any information about our competitor here? Do we have other robots that already in the market that we could look into?
Right. So our Gundam 2 is patented, and we have a strong technical leadership position in the market. And so we have no potential competitors in the foreseeable 2 to 5 years. So no competitors or other robots in the market.
Great. So do we have any data on the local waiter paycheck data for we to consider?
Absolutely. So comparison to waiters, I actually have an exhibit for that. 1 second. Great. Can you see my slogan?
Yes. thank you for sharing that. So yeah, we can from the chart, we can see the efficiency of Gundam versus server. Gundam in total is only need 8 minutes, while server needs 16 minutes. So yeah, it's way more efficient than server. Then do we have any data on the server monthly pay?
Yes,
we
yes, we do. Average monthly salary for a server is 1,600 Singaporean dollars.
1,600 in per month.
Yes, Singapore dollars per month.
So yeah, so it seems like by hiring Gundam 2, we can replace 2 server, at least or around 2 server, right? We can replace 2 server, so which means we can save our customer $3,200 per month.
Mhm. So, sorry, what was that number?
Yeah, I mean by hiring Gundam 2, we could replace 2 server, so which is 3,200 per month.
3,200 per month. Okay, Singaporean dollars per month. Okay. So with the 1,600, replacing 2 of them, that's a good point. Would there be any considerations you'd consider regarding comparing a robot to a human server?
So compared to a Gundam and human server, so that efficiency is only about the single task efficiency. So which is the simple thing like pick up dishes, deliver dishes, and place dishes. So, but we don't see it seems like Gundam cannot take the order, so we cannot replace the server completely. But we could save a lot basic and repeated dirty work for the server. So
Absolutely, yeah. So your value created would be $3,200 per month as a result of the time of the time of the Gundam being faster, and as well the cost would be $250 per month.
yes.
Where would you like to take the case next?
To the
Oh, excuse
do
me.
we have
Oh,
please.
so great. That would be that's good information. It is an interviewer led case interview, so I'll continue forward. Um, so if robot company decides to charge a monthly rental of 1,000 Singaporean dollars per robot, can you estimate the market size of Gundam 2 in Singapore? And before calculating, what are the numbers you need to know, and what are your key assumptions in calculating the market size or estimating the market size of Gundam 2 in Singapore?
Great. So for the to calculate the market size, first step, I would like to know how many restaurants are there, like our potential customers numbers, and that's the first step. And then I want to put them into different buckets. So like super big food court or super big restaurant, and that probably need more than 1 Gundam, and that would be one category. And then I want to understand the medium size of the customers, and then the small size. So what would be the number of different categories? So so from my understanding, like super expensive high-end restaurant would be not be in our mind, would be not be our potential customers. And also the super small like on the street there are only 2 or 3 tables, that may not be our potential customers. So yeah, so I would like to understand the customer number within the different categories. So let's suppose the super large like food court, they might need 3 Gundam, and then medium need 2 and small need 1, and then
Okay.
we could continue to calculate potential market size. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll first start you out. Our client will only be serving full service restaurants, and they have the same size number of servers and opening hours. So there are 4,000 full service restaurants. There are 15 servers per restaurant and 12 opening hours per working day.
15 server and 12 working hour.
Mhm.
So they have 15 server, right?
Yeah.
So there are 4,000 restaurants, but the size are about the same.
Mhm. Assume they have the same size number of servers and opening hours.
Same size, same opening hours. Do we have any subcategory about what kind of food they're serving? Like how many of them serve the um the fast food, or how many of them serve? Do we have any data on that?
No, you can assume that the
Behavior.
robot, yeah, the food is the same, but that the robot can replace 80% of the server's function. The remaining 20% are functions that require human interaction.
Great. So we have 4,000 restaurant, and we have 15 server per restaurant, and we can replace 18% of the server. Then which means we could replace 12 server.
Mhm.
12 server in total. So by replacing 12 server, according to the exhibit that you showed me just now, so we need 6 Gundam. We need 6 Gundam too. And then that in total that would be 24,000 Gundam. The potential market size would be 24,000 Gundam.
Right. So the goal of the market sizing is actually to determine the market size in dollars per year. So
So yeah, which means that would be 24 million.
okay, how did you get that number? Could you walk me through that?
Yeah, we could replace 12 server per restaurant, and we need 6 Gundam to replace 12 servers. And so for 12 Gundam per restaurant, then we could potentially there will be 24,000 Gundam out on the market. So if we charge $1,000 per month
Mhm.
per Gundam, that which means we're gonna charge 24 million per month, right? And
Mhm.
then which means that would be uh 288 million per year,
Mhm.
the potential market size.
So that's a good start. We're missing a couple of factors, however. Do you have any other factors our clients should consider in regards to estimating this market size?
Yeah, so we need to consider the market penetration rate. We cannot, that would be the full the most we can get. So given that we are the leader in the market, so maybe we could achieve like 10% of the market. I'm not sure will our
Absolutely.
customer
So,
yeah.
so the percentage of full service restaurants willing to convert their service from human interaction to robot human interaction is 70% of these restaurants.
Oh yeah, so not all of them are ready to accept.
But 70% are.
Yeah, only 7%, 70%.
70, yeah,
Yeah,
70%.
70%.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the
And what else would you consider? What else would you consider in estimating this market size besides the number that would adopt? Perhaps the I should let you know the server, an average server can work 8 hours shifts, and so the 12-hour operating hours per day, how would you convert those?
oh, I see. So the server can only work 8 hours.
Mhm.
So which means now we have 12 hours operation day. So we need more than 15 server per day, right? So because the total hour would be
Well, we
15. Yeah.
we have the number of servers per restaurant, but if the servers can work 8 hours as opposed to the Gundam 2 that can work 12 hours, would we need more or less Gundam 2s as opposed to servers?
So which means we need less Gundam. We don't need 6 Gundam.
Mhm.
We but yeah, we have 15 server to serve um yeah. So for the 15 server, they can work 8 hour per day. So which means they could work 120 hour in total. So which means at one time we have 10 server on the shift.
Well, disregarding the number of servers that are working in the restaurant, just working with 15 servers per restaurant, that would just be a flat number of servers. How would you convert now knowing that the servers each work 8-hour shifts in a 12-hour working day, and knowing that the Gundam would actually be able to work the full 12 hours without changing shifts?
So
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 for
we
every
have so for if we have 15 server in total for a full day, so we only have 10 server per shift if they only work 8 hours, right? So
Yeah, yeah, disregarding how the servers, so there are 8 hours per working day, and
mhm.
a server, well, besides that, so for a server can serve 8 hours in the working day, and a Gundam can serve 12 hours per working day because it's a robot. It doesn't need to stop, right?
Yes,
So
yes, absolutely.
comparing the 8 and 12, you could use those numbers to determine conversion of of the shifts. So what would you say in estimating the market size of Gundams? Um, how would you use that 12 and 8 ratio to determine the market size? For every 8 hours a server works, a Gundam can work 12 hours.
Yes, uh then we so before we already reached out the conclusion that can replace 80% of the human work. So we can replace like 12 servers work, right?
Mhm.
But um 12 servers, but we also need to consider the maximum 8 hour. So yeah, we can replace 12 servers work. And
We
they
can replace
work,
the functions.
yeah, they work 12 multiple 8 hour 12 multiple 8 hours, so which is 96 hour. So the server, so we could replace 90-hour server work, and we so our Gundam work 12 hour per day, so which is 8 hours, so which means we only need 4 Gundam to
Okay.
replace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So perform that calculation and see what you get. So with the 12, you can multiply, right? Because every a server can work 8 hours, and so a Gundam can work 12. Therefore, you could see that there's a 1.5 shift factor, right? So
Yeah.
every Gundam, it could work 12 hours versus 8-hour server.
Yes.
The Gundam is 1.5 more effective or more capable than a human. So with all that information, could you calculate a yearly market size?
Yeah, so now we can only consider Gundam is more efficient, and then we only need 4 Gundam to work 12 hour per day in one restaurant. So the total market size would be like 4,000 restaurant, and multiple the only 70% that accept that, and per restaurant that need 4 Gundam. That we need 4 Gundam. Yeah, so when we only need 4 Gundams, so that would be in total we're gonna have so 16,000 and multiple 70%, so which is
70%, by the way, 70%.
Yeah, which is 11,200 Gundam. So we could sell 11,200 Gundam to our customers.
Right. But again, we're calculating for yearly market size in dollars. So how would you calculate?
So yeah, which means 11,200. So which means that is 11,000. That would be 11.2 million per month. So that means we multiple 12 months. So that would be around 130 million per year.
Do you have more exact?
135 million per year.
135. Okay, absolutely. Great. So after the analysis, if Robot Co. decide to enter the Singapore market, what are the risks that Robot Co. should look for, and how can they mitigate these risks? And so you had a number of these already. So
right. So for the risk we need to consider, so that's one thing about the operational risk. So can we not only need to sell them in the market, we also need a team crew that could do the maintenance timely. So so for the operation risk, can we deliver our services to the customers? So that's one thing. And also and also do we face any regulation from the government that they need to hire at least such number server per restaurant, or they have a certain, we just mentioned we can replace 70%, so maybe that would be violate some kind of regulations that in the Singapore and also so regarding how to mitigate that, I think we need to talk to the expert by understanding the Singapore the law. And so if we violate that, so the market we just estimate might be too optimism to get that. And also we can work on to do the lobbying, to change the law, to change the people's opinion on that. And also, so Singapore has very special weather. It's hot and warm. I'm not sure how will that affect how will that affect Gundam's lifespan. And also Singapore has their own food consumption special behavior. So whether their food might be there are a lot of soup they consumed in their dietary. So will that affect Gundam's capabilities? That we also need to consider the local customer behavior.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the thing.
Absolutely. So the CEO of RobotCo is entering the room, and he would like to know what you recommend for them to proceed with entering this market. What would you recommend?
Yeah, sure. We should first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity to have us to consult on the on your move. I think we should definitely enter the Singapore market. This is a huge market with potentially 135 million per year that we could reach. So and at this moment we're pioneer. So we should enter this market for 3 reasons. So first of all, this is the attractive market. And second, we are the pioneer. There's no competitor in the market so far. And third, and we have so Singapore have a culture that embracing the technology. I think that would be a good for us to penetrate the market from the very beginning. But at the meantime, we also need to consider the risk. Like for example, so is it possible that other peers that could catch up on us quickly, that we may face competition in the soon? So that's one thing that we need to consider. And also we want to consider, is there any regulation that related with the minimum number of servers to be hired in per restaurant? And also we so far the Gundam can only do a basic task like place dishes, collect dishes. So is it possible to expand our Gundam capability? Like they can take menus that could be more smart than in the future. That can now we are in the era of AI. So can we leverage the ChatGPT technology to make Gundam more smart? That will be more client friendly. So that's also the thing that we could consider. So if we so for next, if we have more time, we could dive into learn more about the how to make their products more attractive. And also if we have time, we can look into, is there any other competitor that about to launch delivery robot in Singapore as well, then we can prepare on that. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Yay! Good job, Ellen.
I'm always not good at math. So I'm confused when there are so many zeros pumped up, and where am I? So
yeah.
So 1,000, million, and the I'm not good at calculations. I need to practice on that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, was this your first market sizing exercise?
I don't think so. It's just I'm not good at numbers.
Wait, have you estimated a market size before? Like
Yeah,
estimating?
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, how did it feel overall? The math was yeah, the math was interesting. But yeah, how do you feel first of all? What did you think?
Yeah, for you know what? I kind of do a similar case before, but in real life, it's not
Mm,
robot delivering food, but it's robot that could do the pan fries. So they don't replace the waiter, but they replace the chef.
mm,
So yeah, that's the thing that I kind of do that similar things before.
mhm.
So it's my friend that want to do such business.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's kind of the problem that we face in the real life.
Mhm,
So it's not that easy. So for the restaurant owner, they may not be that open-minded. They don't want to see the robot
mhm.
that in their
Yeah.
restaurant. They want to have more human to human interactions. So that's one thing, that's a huge push.
Mhm,
And that's also, it's about the operation is also a very tough thing. So you say we only need to $100 to maintain that, but the thing is, I think in real life it's
yeah.
way more expensive than that, because we need to hire an expert to do the maintenance. We cannot hire, the the basic worker. We need to hire someone with expertise. They need to understand how to fix the robot. This is not a easy thing,
Mhm,
and it's not easy to get to find the talent, and it's not easy to train them, and it's not easy. So I think the actual cost will
the
be
case was
way
kind
more
of off.
expensive. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the this is a standard
Mhm,
case. So how enter the market, we need to understand the overall market, the competitor, and our own capability and the product itself.
mm.
So the structure, I think, is okay. It's just the I think I can still improve on how to present them more clearly and more fluently. And yeah, I think so. Overall, this is not a hard case.
Mm. I
It's
think you
just
did a great job. Yeah, this is
really, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
tell me what you think.
yeah, yeah, cool. I'll share the case.
Thanks.
So yeah, definitely, yeah. The quantity the so the higher the number, it's hard. So yeah, definitely this was a hard quantitative case. The creativity, you basically nailed it. I mean, it definitely helped that you worked in this kind of space before, so that helped with the creativity. And then the structure, like you said, was just great. I mean, what was you said competition. I'm gonna write this down for myself actually, because I
Yeah.
want when I do market. Um, you said competition. What else did you say?
Overall market attractiveness, competition landscape, our own robot code capability, and the product itself, Gundam.
Hmm, that is great. Okay, great. Okay, all competition, overall market attractiveness, our own capabilities, so operational, operational
Yeah.
limitation, and then the product itself. Great. That's actually super helpful for me. So thank you. Um, cool. So yeah, here we go. Market entry pricing, creativity. Dang, oh my gosh, have you since you already worked on this case before? Can I mean, can you imagine if somebody like me, for example, you for example, just really quick, you came up with exactly what they need to do: regulation risk, operational risk, and public perception. You came up exactly what they said. I was like, holy crap, like exactly what they yeah, exactly the right, I mean, what they suggest. So that was super cool. I was like, holy crap. Anyways, so you had R&D center in California, Shenzhen. You missed the manufacturing plant in Shenzhen. So this is just understanding the whole supply chain. Just like what we talked about yesterday for me, right? Actually, like fully understanding the business and like not leaving the opening without fully understanding the business. And you got most of it. Also, had you asked about competitors? I think you asked about later on, but I would have. This was something that you asked later on, like after the opening during some kind of exhibit. Is yeah, there's no potential competitors. You did ask about the selling, and so that was great. And this I think this was fine. I think what you could assume this with COVID-19, but like the only thing would be the manufacturer. And so, but all the other stuff you asked were super good too, like really creative. And I wrote a bunch of notes for that. But yeah, great job. Moving on from that, um, The structure was good. The structure you took how long you took 2.5 minutes, so 150 seconds. And like your structure ended up being extremely thorough and creative and all these things. However, we need to bring that down to like 100 seconds, so like 33% less time. So definitely there are ways to do that. I think maybe talking to Eric about that would be good, but
Mhm.
like using shorthand, for example, like market is M, profit is P, sales is S, or cost is C, variable cost VC, or fixed cost FC. So he really recommend, because I remember asking him one time, like, dude, like Eric, I literally am writing as fast as I can. I'm writing like literally as soon as I use. How do I? He says shorthand. VC is variable cost, FC fixed cost. P is price, V is volume, M is marketing or market, uh, comp is competition, stuff like that. And so really just nailing so that you bring that time for your structure down. I actually have a little list of that I clearly. And so I actually messed up a little bit. So definitely for this loading capacity, you had estimated 100, but they wanted you to calculate exactly. And so what you would have done, the actual calculation is quite simple. I mean, the numbers are annoying, but like the actual calculation is simple. You find the overall dimension is 35 to 21 times 20 to get the overall volume, divide by the dimensions of super drink, 654. And so they would have had to multiply 35 to 21 times 20, and then 7 times 5 times 4, and then divide, and then you would get 105. You estimated 100, which was good, but
Oh,
they made it so
I
much.
see. I
Yeah, they
mean,
made it so much.
how I mean, if you're doing this case, how would you calculate the correct number? If
Um.
yeah,
Oh my gosh. Shoot.
because yeah, I know it plays a trick in there. It's so for me, how I got 100 numbers.
Mhm.
So you can pull up, yeah. So you can see we can stack that is 35 in the height, right? So we can stack 5 that
Oh
on
yeah,
one
5.
wall, right?
Oh, I
But
see. Yeah.
yeah, it's 35 divided by 7, that is 5. We can stack 5. And but on the
Oh,
length,
5.
which is 20, so I just divided 20 by 4. So which is we can stack 5 on the but
What?
you know what? But uh and then I
This is confusing.
yeah, you see that they stack. I mean, so I just put that in simple. I stack 5, that you see that is 21. So I think we could stack 5
5. Yeah.
5
5
4,
times
so which
5.
is 20. So we cannot stack that completely full, but almost full.
Uh-huh.
So I just do that
Exactly. No,
so
I know what you mean. Yeah.
for simple, but it's like do a twist to make the space completely full.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I did this calculate. Oh my gosh, it's huge. I
So
did this
which is
calculation just
yeah,
quickly.
so which is 5 multiple 4 multiple 4 multiple 5. So the total is 100. That's how I get the number.
20 times 21 times 35. So divide by, oh my gosh, divide by 5, divide by 7, divide by 4. So yeah, they made it. I know exactly what you mean, because like this 5 should not fit into 21. This 4, I mean that's fine, and this 4, but the calculation they did was as simple as this divide by this to get 105. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because they said it right here, right? These are 4s, but there's extra room here and all this and that. But the calculation would just been this divided by this.
Well,
Uh,
do you think that's that may be risky, because that is volume, that you have a form, you cannot scratch that. I
mhm.
mean, if you divide the volume,
Oh,
um directly. I mean, it may not fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know, but
So you may got 105, but you may not properly fit that in the case.
yeah, they had said, I'm not sure if I should have said this, I think. The Gundam 2 is capable of adjusting the direction of the pack. I must have not said this because I think when you worked it out, it would have fit that way. But yeah, regardless, yeah, you had estimated it, but yeah, this was a tricky one. And then moving forward, the successful pilot, you had come up with a lot of ideas. And so, but this is overall, I think, just stepping back, is that when all these like numbers come up of like, how do you price the services, or like, what numbers do you need to know, and what, how should they risk, what I find yourself doing, I think, each time was that when the question comes up, you just jump right in. Here's some ideas, here's this, that, this, and taking, I think, what has to be done to really effective, just in all the parts of the case interview and in consulting, is to structure your thoughts, right? Taking the pause to say, okay, I'm going to structure my thoughts to say, what is my approach to calculating this, and split it by cost and value. The actual numbers you set, like, just, I think you agreed that this makes no sense. But like, adjust, like, calculating your structuring your thoughts. That's like the number one takeaway that I would take from this, is structuring your thoughts, because between the cost and the value, you had a lot of ideas that I'm drawing a blank on right now. But the pricing decision, they like you said, for example, like, great job with the monthly salary of the server. You got that. I think I messed up. I showed you this, the exhibit, and so you got this portion. I should have mentioned the 80%. I just completely just flubbed that, I think. And then also the server shift. Regardless, we ended up getting it. You got close, but I think largely because of me, because there's the 1.5 shift factor, and then there's the 80%. Had you gotten these numbers, I think it would have been fine. So I think that is on me, but we ended up using these numbers later on. Because I think I wasn't. I think what I got was, I wasn't asked, like, specifically what are the percentage of jobs, or what is the single task efficiency, how long is the server as per working day. You had hinted on that. You had like couple. I mean, I think if you remember, you hinted on a number of those things. But it was more if had you asked me for it. Does this make is this like, are you fault, like, and what I saying, like, I hope I'm making sense here. You know what I mean? Like, just in the nuances of doing a case. Um, Regardless, moving forward, evaluation is open question, but the proposed price, yeah. And so moving on from that, overall, yeah. And then the calculation for the market sizing, definitely, like, they're like structuring your thoughts. I actually wrote a cheat sheet of ways to approach this. First of all, the main thing that you needed to know, the need to step right at the bat, was, what market are we calculating for? I think a number of times you calculated for the number of Gundams being
Number, yeah.
sold, but the question that you need to clarify was actually the yearly market size and annual dollars per year. And so having to remind yourself, like, the first thing is to confirm the question, is what market size are you actually calculating for. The second is to structure the approach, right? So are you going to calculate, you had a great start with numbers for restaurants, and you did a great job with like different restaurants, so you're actually doing pretty well with all that. And opening hours, number of servers per restaurant, I kind of gave you some that weren't I think I was supposed to give you this anyways, but some of the assumptions I gave you were good. And yeah, and so overall, it was kind of just one by one, just pulling like this 1.5 shift factor that I should have gave you earlier, but the 12 hours per day and 8 hours per working, 12 hours Gangnam and 8 hours server. What I was hinting at was just 1.5 divide by 1.5. Like the 12 hours and the 8 hours is just divided by 1.5. The 2 is efficiency factor we got from the first exhibit. The 70% I gave you, and then 80% replaceable functions. Looking at it now, I'm sure it looks like quite straightforward, but in the moment, it is quite, like, and so I think it would have really helped had you structured your thoughts, like, to begin with, like maybe going from with it being homogenous, maybe working from the bottom up. So number of full service restaurants, then servers per restaurant, 80%, exactly what they did. Starting from the bottom, 4,000 restaurants, 15% service per restaurants, 80% will be replaced by robots. Divide by 1.5, divide by 2 times, and then so you can see them working from the bottom up, right? And so you can see them working from the bottom up, starting from restaurants and then ultimately reaching your market size, because you get the restaurants turned into servers turned into robots, robots divide by time, robots per person, and then restaurants converting, and then numbers, dollars, and then we'd get it. So overall, just summary, structure your approach, because once we started going at it, it was starting to get all over the place, and so even before you do any calculations, structure it and work with me to structure it. And then finally, the final analysis. Yeah, you got all of them. That was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, like it's like seriously, it was crazy how you were getting them. But I mean, I guess it does make sense because you worked in this space before, so definitely you would know. But I thought that was crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's getting every single one. And then finally with the conclusion, definitely again structuring it, like taking a second, like, hey, could I take a second to structure my conclusion? It's like, yeah, sure, and then take 30 seconds, because I remember how you went about it was like, with in regards to expand Singapore, we recommend this. In regards to, I'm butchering this, but in regards to expanding to Singapore, we recommend this because this market is this big. But these are the reasons. For like the order that you did all of it was like it was strange and not in a very cohesive way. And had you taken 30 seconds to say recap, recommendation, reasoning, risks, and retain the client, just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Could you repeat that?
Oh
So
yeah, sure. It was in the MCO modules, but so okay, so first is recap. So the recap would be in our client's objective of entering the Singaporean market for our for restaurant robots or something. So first is recap, just like one half a sentence. And then the second half of that one sentence is, we recommend entering this market on a lease monthly rental payment pricing model. And so recap, recommendation, one sentence. Then the second is recap, recommendation. The third is the reasoning. So what's your reason for this? And you start with the reasons, the strongest reason first. The strongest reason being the market size is big and there's no competitors, and the pricing means we make a profit. So just 1, 2, 3, right? Like that's the rule pretty much is not the rule, but the suggestion is for each exhibit, for each analysis, you have one reason. So the first reason is we have a positive profit from each condo. The second reason is there's a big market, and the third is we have no competitors or something, and so starting with one reason per analysis, and then finally the risks. You had mentioned the risks, you did a great job with that. And then finally retain the client, which is addressing the most pertinent risks. So maybe the operational risk was definitely the biggest one, right? And so had I, like, with the benefit of hindsight, me looking at the whole thing, the conclusion I would have done was maybe so recap, recommendation, reasoning, risk, retain client. So it would be something like, in regards to our client's objective of entering the Singaporean market for restaurant robots, we recommend entering this market on a rental month per month basis of $1,000. The reasoning for this is, after doing a cost and value created side analysis, we found that we would turn a profit for each Gangnam sold. And we also found that the market size for robots in Singapore in this restaurant market is $134 million yearly. And finally, with our lack of competitors, this is a good market to enter into. Some risks involved would be regulation, operational risk, and public perception risks. And for next steps, I would like to look primarily into operational risks of bringing robots to Singapore and integrating them in current restaurants and seeing where there might be issues with integration or implementation of this technology into restaurants. Thank you. So that would have been had you taken a second, right, to be all right, recap recommendation, yes, and then reasoning, risks, and then this is the biggest risk, retain client. And so 30 seconds, and that would have made your conclusion so much more like, hitting. And yeah, just like that, you would have stuck the landing and killed this case. And you really did do a great job, but yeah, so you did a great job. You did a great job. Those are my thoughts. Definitely just the big takeaway is structure. Like throughout the whole thing, structure what you're gonna do. Before you do any calculations, before you do any say, I want to do this. Does this make sense? Like, is this a approach that makes sense? And then like also like for my brainstorm of risks, I would like to look at financial and legal, or I'd like to look at short term and long term, and so structuring it in that way too, structuring your brainstorm, structuring how you approach the market sizing, structure how you approach the pricing, and in other whatever cases, structure like your profit analysis, structure your I'm drawing a blank, I'll just look at the next one. Structure your whatever, structure like your profit margin analysis, structure your return on investment, all that stuff before you actually do any calculations. Just structure what you were going to do in the first place and walk the interviewer through what you're doing and then plug those numbers in. Because I when I talked to Eric in my very first session, you didn't do this, so that's good. The worst thing you could do in like a case math is just, all right, put your head down and grind. That's like the worst thing you can do. But that's what I did in my first session. I'm like, okay, you want to figure out the how many sports drinks will sell in this year? All right, give me a second. And I just sat down and wrote it. And then the second thing that I think you did was you walked me through it. But but the best thing would
not in a structured way. Yeah.
Structure it and say, this is my equation. Does this make sense? And then plug the numbers in and go for it. So you weren't as bad as me when I first did it, but that was actually what my old case partner did. Her name was Lovepreet. Every single time she was like, compared to her, you're great at math. She was so bad with math, it's not even funny. Like, because she only did she just did Excel files all her entire time, just Excel files all throughout her career. And so when it actually came to doing like, she couldn't even multiply like 17 times 15. She was like, it was like pulling teeth to try and get it to multiply 17 times 15. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent right now. But yeah, structure calculations. It was just so funny. She would literally just, okay, wait a second, head down, and she can't do 17 times 15. I'm like, well, I had to pull up a whiteboard like 17, 15, 5 times 7, 5 times 1. Like literally I had to pull up a whiteboard a couple times because she just, oh my gosh. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, those are my thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stephen. I mean, this is really a fun case.
Yeah.
And actually this is my first time to fully go over a market entry case.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah. Great. I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Cool. Any other thoughts? Otherwise, I think I'll end the recording and then upload it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can end the recording. So I don't have much left to say. Yeah.